By the power vested in me, I hereby constitute this assembly as a legal congregation of the University of Pretoria. During this assembly, degrees with all the associated rights and privileges will be conferred on the candidates whose names appear in the program. Please take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to join us in some moments of silent prayer or meditation to give thanks for the achievements of our students. Thank you. As Vice Principal of the University of Pretoria, I would like to extend a very hearty word of welcome to all of you at this graduation ceremony. In particular, I would like to welcome the following: the Dean of the Faculty of Natural and Agricultural Sciences, Professor Lebuma, Deputy Dean, Professor Potgieter, and Deputy Dean, Professor Webb, the Deputy Director of the Department of Enrollment and Student Administration, Mr. Muller. We have with us Dr. Albert van Jaarsveld, who is the Vice-Chancellor of the University of KwaZulu-Natal. Chairpersons of schools, heads of department, directors, emeriti and honorary professors, and other lecturers and their spouses. Supervisors, co-supervisors, and external examiners of Doctorandi. Representatives of the Student Representative Council, all those to whom degrees will be conferred this afternoon, and spouses, parents, and other parties and dignitaries who we may not be aware of. Ladies and gentlemen, graduates of the Faculty of Natural and Agricultural Sciences, universities, whether they are MIT, Stanford, Cambridge, or Caltech, the leading universities, have one thing in common. They are very good at holding ceremonies, and of all of these, graduation ceremonies are undoubtedly the most important. Today's ceremony is your graduation. It's of importance to the University of Pretoria, of course, but much more significantly, it's of importance to you, our valued students, who are about to be awarded your degrees and to be formally and publicly recognized for your achievements. Graduation ceremonies are also of importance to your parents, your partners, other family members, maybe your children, and to everyone else who has supported you, cared about you, and helped you to reach this life-changing stage in your lives, and who, at least some, are with you today. The University of Pretoria is almost 110 years old. It's one of the largest and most highly respected universities in South Africa and in Africa. We have well over 50,000 students, and we have graduated many more than 250,000 students in those 110 years. In 2016, we were listed in 2 of the major global ranking systems and in the top 600 of the QS rankings, in the top 5, in fact number 4, in South Africa. In addition, University of Pretoria was one of just 3 universities that improved their research performance in 2015 and 2016, progress which we have been steadily making over the past few years. It is now the case that more than half of the research publications produced by University of Pretoria academics are the result of collaborative work with international colleagues, many in this faculty. Further testimony to the quality of the university and its staff is the fact that 32 academics are in the top 1% in the world in their fields as researchers, as expert researchers. And most of those are also in this faculty. We have 256 research partnerships across 68 countries. So a degree from a university as prestigious and highly recognized as the University of Pretoria is a sign of your worth as one of very few highly qualified people in South Africa whose skills and knowledge have been accredited by this university, skills and knowledge which are urgently needed in our society. In the disciplines encompassed by the faculty, University of Pretoria is very well recognized, especially in agriculture and forestry, biological and molecular sciences, genetics, earth sciences, geography, physics, and others. You may have seen in the press recently that the university was ranked very highly in the world in the field of mycology, the study of fungi, and perhaps some of you can identify with that today. So this is one of our flagship faculties, and you can be very proud of graduating from it today. In this ceremony, we will award 9 doctoral degrees, a total of 122 postgraduate degrees, and some 190 undergraduate degrees, meaning that almost 40% of the degrees being awarded today are at the postgraduate level, a figure that I think the Dean and his academic colleagues can be very proud of. Turning to the national environment for a moment, I'm sure you are aware that 2015 and 2016 were difficult years for South African universities as protests disrupted normal activities across the country. At the University of Pretoria, we worked with our students as the internal stakeholders on matters that affect them. And in this way, progress was made in establishing ways of engaging that will continue to keep open the channels of structured communication between the university and its students. As a result of the efforts of many people, UP lost relatively little academic time, and we completed the exams and the 2016 year successfully, and you are benefiting from that today. That you have succeeded, despite the challenges, is a tribute to your determination to succeed in achieving the goals to which you committed yourselves. You are possibly better prepared now for your future than most who have preceded you in your chosen profession. And your experiences here on the campus will have left you with a clear sense of how important a university education is and of your responsibility to make that reality widely known in society. The varied and related disciplines in the Faculty of Natural and Agricultural Sciences are of particular value and interest because they've developed through 5 quite distinct phases. At the start of the agricultural revolution, growing food and caring for plants was a fairly dramatic new way of life. Science started with watching the movements of the stars, which were in time related to the growth of the plants. Several thousand years later, when the earliest universities were established in Timbuktu and Bologna, science was mainly maths and astronomy, and it was in fact a marginal discipline that fell a little bit outside of the core of university learning. The third phase, very different, emerged when universities, mostly in Germany around the 1800s, foregrounded broadly based research. A wide range of sciences quickly became critical to university learning. The fourth phase is effectively where we are now. The disciplines in this faculty are critical and in some cases essential to the world in which we live. Think about the grand challenges of the 21st century that we talk about often: food security, water security, health, climate change, to name a few. Your privilege is to be at the advancing edge of that phase. But we've recently entered a 5th phase of the sciences, primarily driven by politics, the so-called post-truth era. This is the phase in which scientific evidence is increasingly being criticized or dismissed, and in some countries, steadily underfunded. Marches around the world, articles in serious and popular journals, and a general public concern are being expressed to counter this trend. But for some in the world, climate change remains a fallacy, fossil fuels remain our future, and judges feel free to dismiss scientific evidence as being untrue. This phase is something of a threat, not just to the world we live in, but to each of us as individuals. What you have learned here in your years at University of Pretoria is unimaginably far from what started long ago, and to some extent where we suddenly find ourselves now. The scientific and applied knowledge that you've gained are far different from those early years, and I hope that your studies here have prepared you to make major strides and to make the differences that are possible in the world, which is in much need of improvement, and to join a serious, determined challenge to phase number 5. But for today must be a great celebration. You, as our graduates, have achieved much. Your discipline has an ever-enriching history, and in our complex modern society, each of you has an essential and critical role to play. I hope that you will make the most of what today means. I hope also that you will not forget that society needs you and that you will be aware of how much you can contribute. In concluding, let me thank you for your hard work and your family and your sponsors for their support of you. I do hope you will take a moment later to thank them. Finally, our warmest congratulations to each of you and to all of those who have supported you along the way. Thank you. I now request the Dean and supervisors to introduce to me the candidates present whose names appear in the programme.
Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Science. Jenny De Bruin. Jadri Furi. Stephanie Inzer. Tabang Mora. Giselle Nauidu. Moloti Nakampe. Rorizang Sepeto. Lodevicus Teron. Tandeka Zwane. With specialization in biochemistry, Bianca Ackerman. Thomas Baites. Koketso Chauke. Sipo Chauke. John Davidson with distinction. Claudette Deving. Masejo Dilebo. Janine Duplessis with distinction. She has also received the Merck Prize for the best student in analytical chemistry at 300 level. Luveshni Kunder. Babalwa Nkabuza. Inge Yugos. Masengoniana Kabasia. Sulaiman Kaka. Sung Kim. Mamateye Mabohane. Amanda Mashlangu. Tisetso Makate. Kenneth Makado. Mohau Makasa. Modibo Malefo. Elizabeth Marks. Johannes Masekameng. Adelit Masheu. Koketso Matibe. Jelly Matlo Joane. Nzumvumile Mbane. Lindokukle Nkunu. Dieketso Moelisa. Mosa Molateli. Millicent Molefe. Ruzani Mushacha. Bianca Naidu. Corna Nel. Yuldli Nume. Anita Nsaluba. Likeleli Ramolula. Ashe Rainer. Lucky Marie Skiepers. Inoncia Sefoka. Zanele Shangaze. Vian Steenkamp. Sitembile Teu. Ramokone Tlowana. Mary Tiove. Ashley van Heerden with distinction. She has also received the Shimaju Book Prize for the best student in biochemistry at 300 level. Lies van Heerden. Zante van Vessel. Dirkus Viljoen. Carla Watson. Mpendulo Zulu. With specialization in biotechnology, Matimba Shabalala. Portia Shiamu. Francis Costa. Nilou Duleu. Tato Dintwe. Lucas Hoffman. Dore Hubert. She has also received the Inkaba Biotechnical Prize for the final year student with the highest weighted average in BSc Biotechnology study program. Duduzile Kubeka. Marian Kurta. Lisette Labser. Ontiretse Mahema. Nkobile Masilela. Nelson Matloha. Nompilo Mazibuko. Tenele Nklanga. Notandazo Mlangeni. Simeng Mokalapa. Onkarabile Muketa. Neliziwe Ntimonie. Nemaunguni Mudzigi. Lea Mujei. Jonathan Naidu. Funanani Ndo. Masebujo Nkadimeng. Andrew Nocton Smith. Pelo Ntlabati. Princess Radebe. Conal Robinson. Carol Ann Segal. Sepo Seoli. Victoria Shishongi. Nakatunga Simpasa. Tireen Smith. Ernest Tredom. Tumelo Tau. Sipesikle Zinkubu. With specialization in zoology, Shanae Alfaiter. Alexis Birman. Elme Brand. Carmen Bretz. Bruce Grossi. Nikki Demetrudes. Andina Erasmus. Ludorf On. Samantha Jordan. Alexandra Lowe. Nevania Leber. Cassandra Markram. Laura Mayer. Clarissa Minar. Shannon Michel. Clinette Sutherland. Chanel van der Merwe. Albertus van Jan Svert. Landon Fenter. Michelle Wright. With specialization in ecology, Willem Marais. Tanya Stredom. Elsa van Ginkel. Specialization in entomology, Michelle Janssen. Johan Simon. With specialization in microbiology, Michelle Adams. Dorothea Bierman. Ariel Buyens. Marlise Beys. Nicolas Cotsier. Michel Dos Santos. Nadia Duplessis. Michael Ditoy. Zandile Earnshaw. Nonkululeko Gininda. Colin Hrobler. Jesse Atri. Ricky Lee Artwell. Jamie Lee Yars. Angelique Jacobson. Rochelle Janse van Rensburg. Charlene Kapp. Meshach Kekana. Boitumelo Hartley. Ntokozo Kumalo. Justin King. Adam Kucha. Letitia Lomba. Sizamkele Mashlasela. Kaylee Meyer with distinction. Mojaji Makwela. Jacques Malan. Riabeche Masebe. Monewa Matlwa. Nonkosi Mbata. William McMahon. Mateka Modiba. Palesa Mohale. Moelechi Morozi. Matome Mpaho. Fezile Ntunzi. Sipe Nkunielwa. Alphonse Onana Ngwini. Kara Otto Sarich. Tinavuyo Rabuli. Mapula Ramatapa. Esmarie Rousseau. Melissa Rowland. Jenna Lee Shuttleworth. Laura Sempkins. Jacques Snyman. Leani van der Walt. Philip van Jaarsveld. Savannah Watson with distinction. Natalie Ziklali. Nomakula Zim. With specialization in plant science. Sasha Lee Gush. Martinette Rousseau. Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Agricultural Science with specialization in plant pathology, Tinswalo Baloi. And she has received the Bayer Crop Science Prize for the best student in plant pathology in the final year. She has received the Bayer Crop Science Prize for the best student in plant pathology in the final year for the degree BSc or BSc Agri. Herman Els. Jessica Ed. Anna Mashlangu. Sepeke Ratau. Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Bachelor of Science honor with specialization in medicinal plant science. Matthew Fisher. Murunwa Madzinga. Zimasa Nkatane. Binang Morake. Brad Carroll with distinction. He has also received the Margareta Mess Medal for the best BSc honors student with an average of at least 70% and whose essay is based on an aspect of plant physiology. Mariki Smith. With specialization in biochemistry, Clarissa Abri with distinction. Christian Briet with distinction. Court Shiramba. Lenie Dlamini. Kim Goldenberg with distinction. She has also received the Merit Award for Biochemistry for the best student who obtained the honors degree in biochemistry with distinction. Danielle Ann with distinction. Tembangane Kokela. Takalani Makantisa. Lenience Maposa. Gotatso Mobi. Faith Otukpa with distinction. Artesa Ragavalu. Zinkle Seleka. Jabulile Sindane. Ernest Harris with distinction. With specialization in biotechnology, Claudio Denuso. Lichel Hroblar with distinction. Tabang Nsimango. Daniel Seeger. Tanya Velgemoert. Specialization in zoology. Charisma Adlam. Shannon Conradi with distinction. Ruben Crave-Wagen. Gregory de Jong. Sean Ayton with distinction. Reno Camp. Devald Kleins-Ans. Seguari Malemacha. Puseletso Motsomane. Hendrik Mayberg. Futali Nelwamondo. Maxili Perrings. Cecilia Prinsloo. Nicholas Prinsloo. Liam Selby. With specialization in entomology. Caitlin Notschuld, with distinction. Stephanie Wilson. With specialization in genetic, Nadine Bota. Deria Boscali. Diego Castillo Vaca, with distinction. He has also received the South African Genetic Societies of Meyer van Schaik Prize for the best honors, BSc honors student who achieve a final mark of at least 75% in genetics. Shannon Flemington, with distinction. Daniel Arty, with distinction. Johannes Enning. Andrea Elton Barber, with distinction. Angela Hoffman, with distinction. Caitlin Oops. Georgia Leisehang. Maleklogonolo Makua. Cheyenne Stein. Salome van Hopen. Bradley Vincent. With specialization in microbiology. Rochelle Klaas. Petru Kotsia. Tobeka Dlangalala. Alessandro Grisia. Melissa Hubert, with distinction. Dineo Mailula. Puseletso Maniaka. Nikki Miguel with distinction. Simos Morgan. Brighton Nkube. Sharon Oliphant. Deborah Paswana. Talia Pillay with distinction. With specialization in plant science. Isaac Bloom. Mia Momberg with distinction. She has also received the Schweikwerk Medal for Plant Science for the best BSc honors student who obtained an average of at least 70% and whose essay is based on an aspect of plant science or other than plant physiology. Congratulations. Lohandi Rector. Yulani Stapelberg with distinction. She has also received the Inkaba Biotechnical Prize to the student with the highest weighted average in BSc Honors Biotechnology study program. Congratulations. Dirk van Veek. Madam Vice Principal, the following candidates have complied with all the requirements for the degree Master of Science with specialization in medicinal plant science. Annelieke Bloem van Staden with distinction. Isa Lambrecht with distinction. Sunel Radman. With specialization in environmental management. Erika Mokanya. Simone Pretorius. Specialization in biochemistry. Lungelo Mandioli with distinction. And he has received the Metrum Prize for the student who obtained the highest marks above 75% for MSc in biochemistry. Ntawelanga Ndengane. Yohan Nibu. With specialization in zoology. Lizel Retif with distinction. With specialization in entomology, Ermina Furi. With specialization in microbiology, Andele Cornadi with distinction. Tandubukle Honoze. With specialization in plant pathology, Johannes Vilhoen. With specialization in plant science, Nkobile Kunene. With specialization in water management, August Mashele. Innocent Ntembu. Madam Vice Principal, the supervisors or head of department will now introduce the doctoral candidates.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Bran Adesiabati, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Philosophy Doctor with a thesis titled Molecular Characterization and Evaluation of Entomopathogenic Nematodes in South African Forestry Plantations, prepared under my supervision and with Profs. Michael Wingfield and Bernard Slippers as co-supervisors. In his thesis, the Provendus investigated the diversity of entomopathogenic nematodes, EPNs, and their symbiotic bacteria in South African plantations and indigenous forest. Based on molecular analysis of sequence data from collected EPNs, he isolated 6 EPN species comprising 2 undescribed Stanonema species and 4 previously described EPN species. Likewise, molecular characterization of the EPN symbiotic bacteria revealed the presence of 3 Xenorhabdus and 1 Photorhabdus species, and novel nematode bacteria interactions were described. Using morphological, molecular, and cross-hybridization methods, he also described one of the new Stanonema species as Stanonema fabii. In addition, the Promovendus investigated the survival and efficacy of native and non-native EPN species on different media and examined the efficacy of several EPN species against an important agricultural pest, the white grub Heteronicus licus. This research resulted in the identification of an application method for EPNs and showed the potential of EPNs, specifically native EPNs, in management of soil pests in the forestry and agricultural environment. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate.
I introduce to you Mesfin Wonderfrush Gosa, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Philosophy Doctor with a thesis titled Ecology and Diversity of Introduced Pisodes in South Africa, prepared under my supervision and with Profs. Bernard Slippers and Jeff Garnis as co-supervisors. In his thesis, the Promovendus studied the species identity, population genetics, natural enemies, patterns of host utilization, and co-occurrence of an invasive Pisode species across pine plantations in South Africa. Using a combination of morphological and molecular tools, the Promovendus confirmed the introduction of a single Pisode species of North American origin into South Africa, refuting the identification that has been used for the past 74 years. In his natural enemy survey, the Promovendus identified 3 parasitoid species of the invasive Pisode species in South Africa and mapped their geographic distribution and parasitism rate. In addition, the research revealed a high degree of co-occurrence of Pisode species with the wood wasp, Syrex noctilio, another invasive pine insect pest, indicating potential interaction between these 2 species. The Promovendus also studied the host utilization of Pisodes and showed that the insect is able to utilize healthy, declining, and recently dead trees of all commercial pinus species, but with significant variations in susceptibility among these species. In general, the research conducted in this thesis is of significant importance to plantation forestry in South Africa and to forestry globally, adding important new information to the systematics and ecology of Posodi species. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate.
Madam Vice-Chancellor, I introduce to you Stanford Konda, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Philosophy Doctor with a thesis entitled Transcriptome Profiling of Potato Plant Stems Challenged with Pectobacterium caratoverum, subspecies brasiliense, and elucidation of the role of small RNAs in Pectobacterium survival mechanism. Prepared under my supervision and with Professor Paul Birch as co-supervisor. The promovendors used time-course RNA sequencing to identify defense-related genes and long intergenic non-coding RNA transcripts in potato responsive to Pectobacterium caratoverum brasiliense. Comparing transcriptomes between a susceptible and a tolerant cultivar following inoculation with Pectobacterium revealed that MAPK kinase signaling cascade and ethylene hormonal pathways are central to potato defense responses against this pathogen. Furthermore, expression of downstream related genes was enhanced in the tolerant cultivar, including transcription factors such as WRKI33 and several ethylene binding transcription factors, including secondary cell wall metabolism for lignification and cellulose biosynthesis. Additionally, 151 long non-coding RNAs were differentially expressed between the two cultivars. This result suggests the importance of long non-coding RNAs in potato defense responses. Finally, 137 small RNA transcripts in Pectobacterium atrosepticum genome were described. About 62% of the identified small RNAs are conserved within Pectobacteria. 68 small RNAs were differentially expressed in Pectobacterium atrosepticum cells grown under growth-promoting conditions compared to starvation conditions. These findings highlight that small RNAs possibly play a key role in Pectobacterium adaptive responses. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce you to Jacqueline Meyer, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Philosophy Doctor with a thesis titled RNA Sequencing of Maize Reveals Metabolic Processes, Candidate Defense Genes, and SNP markers associated with grey leaf spot disease resistance, prepared under the supervision of Professor David Berger and with Dr. Shane Murray of University of Cape Town and myself as co-supervisors. In her thesis, the promovenda reports a research on the maize defense response to Cercospora zana, a fungal foliar pathogen. Using RNA sequencing as well as phytoalexin metabolic profiling, she characterized the transcriptome and chemical changes that occur in maize leaves in response to Cercospora zana infection. Distinct genetic and chemical signatures were identified in disease-resistant and susceptible maize lines. C. zana inoculated leaves accumulated secondary metabolites and antimicrobial properties, namely the terpenoids, zealexin, and coralexin. a novel terpenoid biosynthetic gene was induced exclusively in the disease-resistant maize line. Finally, the RNA sequencing data was mined for single nucleotide polymorphisms that were translated into a genotyping assay for marker-assisted breeding of grey leaf spot resistance in maize. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
Confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Chidiberi Ofiogbu, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Philosophiae Doctor with a thesis titled An Assessment of Local Sociocultural Concepts of Climate Change and its Perceived Effects on Forest-Based Livelihood, Case Study of Rural Communities of Vembe District, South Africa. Prepared under the supervision of Professor Paxi Churwa and with Dr. Babalola and Professor Francis as co-supervisors. In his thesis, the promovenda studied rural people's conceptualization of climate change and its perceived effect on forest-based livelihoods in South Africa. The promovendus used a modified Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change's Climate Change Vulnerability Assessment Framework to analyze the people's perception, exposure, sensitivity, and adaptive capacity to climate change. The promovendus showed that local conceptualization of climate change has a positive correlation with the people's attitudes towards forest use and management with respect to climate change adaptation. The promovendus also showed that the potential of forest-based adaptation initiatives to contribute to rural livelihood sustainability and resilience can be unlocked if adaptation initiatives simultaneously focus on a range of social, economic, and physical factors that interact at household and community level to dictate people's vulnerability to climate change. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate.
Madam Vice Principal, I introduce to you Priyan Pillai, who has complied with the requirements for the degree Philosophiae Doctor with a thesis entitled Characterization of VP1 Protein Sensitivity Against Proteases and Identification of Agroinfiltration-Induced Proteases in Nicotiana benzamiana leaves. Prepared under the supervision of Professor Carl Kunert, with myself as co-supervisor. In his thesis, the promovendans evaluated the sensitivity of recombinant protein model VP1 from the foot and mouth disease virus to proteases. Greater insights into the vulnerabilities of VP1 towards proteolytic cleavage in silico and ex planta were achieved, with evidence of the involvement of plant-derived proteases. Through transcriptomic profiling, it was found that the induction of RD21 and VPE genes were involved during the early stages of agroinfiltration, possibly initiating a senescence-like response. The study also showed that VP1 protein production can be improved by improving the processing of the P1 polyprotein with the regulation of free C proteolytic action, and by applying a time-delayed agroinfiltration technique. Ultimately, the knowledge generated in the study allows for the design of specific inhibitors, silencing constructs, and other strategies to prevent such proteolytic action from compromising protein yield. Madam Vice Principal, I request you to confer the degree on the candidate.
I hereby confer the degree Doctor of Philosophy with all its associated rights and privileges on the candidate. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of the proceedings. Before we close, I wish to invite all of you for refreshments afterwards in the tents situated in the front of the Rembrandt Hall. You are requested to stand for the singing of the national anthem and to remain standing until the assembly has been dissolved and the academic procession has left the auditorium. The words of the national anthem are printed on the inside back cover of the program. Please rise. By the powers vested in me, I hereby dissolve this assembly of the University of Pretoria. Thank you.
Gaudeamus